In this tutorial, we're going to take this model and change its face to this face. To get started, I'm going to use the Lasso Tool. So you can stand over here and choose Lasso Tool. And we're just going to go around the face. Now you don't need to be exact. We just want to get the first part of the face selected, and here we go. I'm going to copy this by Command or Control C, and I'm going to paste this on my model. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is to try to change the size over here and to match it to the model's face. To do that, I'm going to click Command T, and I'm going to hit the Shift because I don't want this to be in proportion. Now usually you don't hit Shift, but this time, since I want to change the orientation a little bit, I'm going to hit Shift just so the horizontal and vertical axis is not locked. And now you can see I'm starting to get there. Let's make this a little bit smaller. And I think I need to rotate a little bit, so I'm going to rotate it. And I think we're about there. Right? This looks pretty cool. Perfect. So she's in place. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the opacity to 50%, just because I want to make sure that everything's in place. Let's get closer. Command or Control and plus to get closer. Space and drag to move to the exact space we want to be in. And again, Command or Control T. And we can play around with this. You can check out the eyebrows and the mouth. I think we're about there. We can squish this a little bit with Shift again. Perfect. Let's turn on the opacity in the Layers panel. Perfect. This is looking good. Next thing I want to do is I want to start erasing parts just so this model fits inside. So I'm going to click over here on Clipping Mask. And right now everything is white. To start deleting parts off, we need a black foreground. So this is what we have right now selected. And I'm going to use a brush. For the brush, you need a brush that's hard, that doesn't have any softness in it. So I'm just going to click this one. And as you can see, the hardness is 100. This is perfect. And you just want to start going over the image and making sure that nothing is going out of the face, because we're going to blend this into our face over here. Usually for the forehead we don't need anything, so we can start taking parts off. I mean, I like this glare that we have over here from the original forehead, so we're going to want to leave that and not merge anything, and try to make your edges as soft as possible so they're smooth. Here you go. Let's soften this a little bit. Perfect. So we got our face on our model. The next thing I want to do is to rasterize the layer. So right now it has a clipping mask, so I can't do that. So I'm going to right click, convert to smart object, and right click again and rasterize to layer. Now I have only the pixels that I wanted. And the next thing, I want to create a selection around this. So I'm going to hit Command or Control and click on the layer over here. This will make a selection around my visible pixels in this layer. And I'm going to disable this layer. Just close that eye over here. Jump into my background layer, double click on it to create it into a regular layer. And right now what I want to do is I want to contract my selection. I want to make my selection a little bit smaller, just so we can merge between the two images. So to do that, I'm going into Select, Modify, and Contract. I'm going to contract it by 5 pixels. It depends however your image looks like. You see now it's a bit smaller. If I'll turn back my selection, you can see that it's sort of overlapping a little bit. There's a small little overlap. This is really important for the effect that we're going to use. After we have a selection, we can cut out the pixels from the original model. So I'm just gonna hit delete on the keyboard. Make sure you're on the correct layer, of course. So delete on the keyboard. Now we can turn back the original face and we need to merge between them. So I'm just gonna select both of these, hitting Shift and making sure both of them are selected. And now I'm going into Edit and Auto Blend Layers. Inside of Auto Blend Layers, we want Panorama to be selected, Seamless Tones and Colors. This will match the colors to each other, and Content Aware Fill Transparent areas. Click OK. And now it's going to merge both of these into one selection. Perfect. Let's hit Command D to unselect any pixels that are selected. And we can go back. Cool, we're done with our model and we finished swapping the faces. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more stuff like this. And I'll see you in the next video.